Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, August 22nd, 2019. My name is Rich, and join me to cover the breath of fresh air that is the ANW11 Cincinnati City Finals is Bijan. How you make it out?
I'm good, man. Speaking the truth right there. Damn, this was good.
Oh, my God. After last week, and even really the week before, like it's been a little rough here in the middle. What a way to end the City Finals. I love this episode. This might be one of my favorite episodes they've ever had.
Yeah, man, it was good vibes. Of course, history was made and everything like that, but I don't know. All around, I liked a lot of the videos that were presented, and I don't know, just the overall feel and vibe of everything. Like last week was so down and just dour, right? This one very elated and uplifting.
By the third run, I was in tears for the second time. Loving this episode. I can't say enough about it. Absolutely crushed it. This was how City Finals should be.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Before we get into the episode, though, I'm gonna say a quick thing. We'll give a reminder at the end as well. But our Hot Ones video is up on the YouTube channel, and I will include a link in our description.
Yeah, okay, so guys, my apologies. I was in finals, so I didn't have time to edit it, but it's fully edited. And shout out to my fiance Sarah for helping out with the thumbnail. Big fan of that thumbnail. And yeah, man, I thought it came out great, bro.
It did. I will have to apologize for the audio quality. We had a little bit of trouble with the mic, so what you're getting is from the camera, not our nice little mic that's in front of us. Yeah,
but dude, I'll tell you, audio, you can still hear us just fine. It's not like, what did they say? What was that? Like, you can still hear us. Check it out, guys, if you want to see Rich and I just epically lose our minds, the spiciest stuff, and also a little bit of getting to know us. You know, we interview each other throughout it, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. When I was looking at this, trying to post it, I didn't realize some of these sauces are like 2 million plus Scoville units, and like a jalapeno is like 5,000. Like it's like ridiculously hotter.
Oh yeah, like come on, man. The bomb hot sauce, that the pain I was in. We were both in, man. That was insane.
Apparently you won. We've been told on our YouTube, on the comments on it, that I hit the milk first, so I guess that means that I lose the challenge, but
I'll take it, man. First time ever, and probably the only time when it comes to spiciness I'll win something. So
yeah, I'll concede that one. Let's get into the actual episode here.
Before we do, though, I heard a lot online, and even you referenced this, about something about a spoiler. Now, if it's for next week, don't give the spoiler, like, don't reveal it, but was it something about this episode, about, like, you know, the two the history-making performances? Like, what was going on with that?
So there is some big spoilers out there. Very big spoilers. So much so that I'm not going to... Here, I think what I'll do...
Yeah, don't like hint to it. If it hasn't been like on this episode and it's for like the finals, like I was just curious about what's going on. So like we might want to give like a warning out there.
Yeah, it wasn't for this episode, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So what I'll do is I'll give my thoughts on it after the episode. So I'll have our normal outro and everything. I'll give a little warning, and then I'll give a little spiel on the spoiler at the end.
Sounds good, man.
All right, so in this episode, though, what we had was a new obstacle called the Slam Dunk, and pretty cool. I liked it.
I love this obstacle. It's, you know, for all the newer obstacles, it's like, I would say nothing's easy, but it's on the lesser difficulty end of the spectrum, but I'm fine with that. Visually, it's so awesome looking. It tests, like, you know, I wouldn't say new forms of like muscle groups or whatever, but I don't know, something about it, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't need to be world-crushingly hard.
Yeah, what a difference, right? Like, it had some difficulty. We saw some falls on it, but it wasn't, he said, it wasn't crushing our souls run after run. This was a very reasonable, I think the whole course, we had, was it 7 finishers? That's a reasonable number. That's not excessive. That's pretty good. And a solid, difficulty course. This is perfectly balanced.
Yeah, it's got like ups and downs in terms of difficulty. Like the ring swing, I don't consider a really difficult obstacle. But like that crazy bungee obstacle looks insanely difficult, man. So like it's different thresholds, different levels, and altogether they balance each other out.
Yeah, big fan. Yeah, let's take a look. This first run that we had was actually Philip Scott, who it turns out our good friend Will from 222 Productions let me know is actually a friend of his.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and he did run at the beginning of the night, too. So Philip takes the course, almost didn't run, from what they told us. Up to an hour before, he was having panic attacks. He was, he suffers from Asperger's. His father quit his job and homeschooled him. They built backyard obstacles. This guy is a very interesting story, right? And it's like, how can he hold it together when he actually had called the producers and was almost not able to run the course?
Yeah, I mean, this is some real stuff. Oftentimes we just see something where it's like drama just for drama's sake, but this is like something that's real and something that actually happens with I wouldn't say this particular thing happens with a lot of people, but at least, I mean, I work in the library, let's just say a lot of introverts and stuff. And I'm not trying to say it's the same thing to this, but I've seen oftentimes a lot of people have extreme anxiety and anxiety attacks, even being in front of maybe even 5 people. And I can't even imagine what this kid was going through. He's young. He does suffer from, I forget the proper terminology, but he has Asperger's. And imagine all of that stress and anxiety with all these cameras and this entire audience watching you. I mean, I feed off of that kind of stuff, and I was even nervous when I was on the show. Like, this poor kid, I can't even imagine the anxiety he was going through. And I'm glad they brought this up. I'm glad this was something that was like, talked about. And on the commentary, they kept bringing it up like over and over and over again. But I guess even though that was a little going like, okay, we get it, guys, it was fine just because the kid was overcoming it like throughout the entire run.
Yeah, there was a purpose to it. It didn't feel forced. It felt very real. I liked it. I thought it made for an interesting, compelling run, right? Especially to kick off the whole thing. And he crushed it. Like, I couldn't believe how well he did. I was so excited just to see him run the course. I kind of thought, well, that's a good way to kick it off, right? We'll have an inspiring run, see how he does. Maybe he can get past the 5th obstacle kind of thing. But he beat the slam dunk and ended up going out on the 9th obstacle. Like, after what he went through to make it that far into the course, that's amazing.
Yeah, I loved it, man. And I'm just so happy for the kid. You can see the emotion on him. His dad, man, that was a powerful moment. Like, first of all, his dad's built like a brick truck. Like, that dude like lifts some weights. Yeah. And the fact that he like I wouldn't say gave up his career, but like something that he was doing, like his livelihood, and he gave it all up and like just completely invested in his son. Like, that is some dedication and love. And I something like immediately when I heard that, I'm like, okay, this dad really cares about his son. And then you see him on the sidelines and he's just living through his son and he's just so happy. And I don't know, everything about this was wonderful. When this poor, I'm sorry, I keep calling him the kid. But when he comes out of the water and he's just in front of the audience and the audience is giving him a standing ovation and he just takes it in and his father's right there underneath him being like his biggest cheerleader. I mean, for me visually, that was so profound.
Yeah. And I just realized he actually made it to Vegas, right? Like, he went far enough that we will see him in the Vegas finals. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for them, and I'm really happy. All around, this was good stuff.
So following that up, we actually had Jeri D'Aurelio, her 5th season training's been tough because she's been in Afghanistan and working hard in the military. So it was interesting to see her run because I was like, okay. And they mentioned that she's failed on the 5th obstacle 5 times. And I was like, all right, so can she get the 5th obstacle or not?
Yep, that's the story.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. She just was catching the front edge of those wing nuts. I thought she wasn't going to make it past them at first. But she was able to beat the slingshot this time. Her first time at the wall in competition. Like, that's nuts.
I never knew that. That's insane. Because she's a household name, and big shout out to the video. I mean, the editing was, other than one big dip in the editing, I thought videos were on point this episode. And yeah.
Oh, did you realize also that she was only 5'2"? Like, I keep thinking she's tall. She seems tall. There's something about her frame that makes her look so much taller.
I have given up on the height of ninjas because, like, she's 5'2", and I would have never guessed that. But, like, Jesse Flex Labreck is 5'7" and one of the taller ninjas. Like, I wouldn't have guessed that either. So right. I don't know. I mean, just from the show, it looks like Jeri D'Aurelio is the same height as, Flex Labreck.
Yeah, it's hard to judge. It's a little hard to judge. She misses the wall on her first attempt, gets her fingertips on it on the second attempt, and I'm like, oh, I was getting so disappointed. I thought there was no way she's going to do it. We see Brian Kretsch yelling at her at the sidelines, giving her tips and stuff, and I got to admit, I had lost hope. I thought, oh, she's not going to do it. That sucks. But when she did it, I lost my mind. I was so excited for her, so happy to see her make it into the back half of the course.
Yeah, super psyched, and it was a lot of hype. It was a lot of it was kind of like a get hype moment where it's like, okay, now we're going, man. Let's see what you can do. And I was really excited for her, and it only was a promise of like good things to come.
Yeah, I was like, this is the second run, and I'm losing my mind already. This is a good sign. She almost beat the slam dunk. Like, I would have lost it. She. Oh, by the way, on the salmon ladder, I should mention, she did like a really interesting technique. She was putting her feet way up, like using her whole body to hit each rung. I don't know if that was how she would normally do it, or if she was, feeling tired and that was a way of like using different muscles. I have no idea what that was about.
I don't know, but I mean, I've seen that. I've done that at the gym. That's considered like a more advanced core workout where you're kind of like hanging from the bar and you bring your like legs up all the way up. She must have some crazy strong abs. I have to imagine it makes it easier for the transition up. But with that said, it's going to actually, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong if somebody knows if she is doing it differently. But from what I understand, that's going to wear far more of your energy out than the traditional kip up with your knees.
Yeah, I would think so. It just seemed, I don't know. Maybe it's safer. If anybody knows, like you said,
I have a feeling it's safer. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she's like, I've gone this far, man. I'm not risking it.
We have Michelle Warnky and Flex Labreck coming up. I got to get as far as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe she almost beat Slam Dunk. I thought she was going to for a second. She missed the last transition, but a fantastic run. Her best run ever.
Yeah, by a wide margin. And man, that slam dunk, like, it must suck so much to like the final transition you fall.
Yeah.
That's got to be brutal.
After Jeri, we had Brandon Mears, one of the Towers of Power, whose son Ashton was on the sidelines. They have now a daughter named Joelle, and complete chaos at home, as you do when you have children. I was like bought right in. Right from Brandon's segment, I was so in to see how he could do. I was a little nervous though because like we had two great uplifting runs to start this episode. Is this where they're going to kick us, sweep the feet out from under us?
Yeah. First off, this might shock people because it's Brandon Mears, one of the two powers of Tower or Towers of Power, whatever it's called. It's Towers of Power. Yeah, but this gets the visually profound video of the night. Because I absolutely love this video. We already know about how real it is for them and their difficulties, having a child, like, whatever. And the fact that we saw this real life video of him absolutely terrified. And Rich, you're a father, like I'm sure if if your wife's like, oh my God, I have something really serious to talk about. The fact that immediately he went to his child and just the terror on his face, like the worry. And then it came out that she was pregnant and just the elation on his face. I mean, that alone just won my heart over. And I was so happy for both of them. Because, we saw last year just how much this was important to them. It might have been 2 years ago, I forget. But we've seen previously, their story. And, I was just so happy for him. And, a moment later on where he literally points to his child and he's so happy and he literally goes, "This is for you." I don't know. I thought it was beautiful.
It was really beautiful. And, what's funny is it's almost say it would take away from it a little bit that the kid seemed relatively disinterested in the whole thing. But I got to tell you, as a parent, that's a real emotion. That's a real feel for me. Like trying to impress your kid and the kid's like, yeah, whatever. Like you getting me a snack or what? Like, what's going on? That to me was like, that's a real dad. And his kid, he's trying to impress his kid. And I just loved it. I loved that he was out there trying to beat the whole thing. And the fact that he did it, like once he get past the balance obstacle, I was feeling good. I was like, all right, so it's not about him falling on balance again. That's good. Then they get to the salmon ladder, I guess, and I had a little bit worried. They're like, he's fallen on the salmon ladder 2 of the 3 times in the past that he's faced it. And I was like, oh, geez, here we go. But he beats that, and then he beats Slam Dunk, and he beats Spinball Wizard by a hair. It's like, how are we 3 runs into this episode and I am losing my mind?
Yeah. Well paced with everything. But more importantly, I mean, we've been through it multiple times. I'm always gonna say, people with longer legs, and let's be real, Brandon Mears is gonna be the the epitome of this. Gonna struggle on obstacles like the spider climb, and he was gutting it out. He's like, there is no way in heck I've gotten this far and I'm going to fail now. And just his struggle through the ascent. For me, just the struggle is all that more just impressive. And I loved the slow, grueling climb that he did. And you just saw he was never going to give up.
I loved it. The editing in that was perfect. Like, let us take that climb with him. Like, let us feel it. And you can see it on his face. He's putting everything, like he said, he is not going to let himself fall. I was crying by the end of this thing when he hits the buzzer. I'm like, I can't believe he did it. I cannot believe he gutted through that because it just looked excruciating. But he did everything he set out to do. I was just thrilled for him.
And bro, for me, one of the best parts was, I forget what the exact quote, but he kept saying over and over again, like, "Oh wow, oh my God, I can't believe," something like that. Do you remember the exact quote? But he kept talking to himself, like he couldn't believe he had actually done it. And that's such a real, raw emotion.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been something like, is this real, or did this really happen? Or I can't remember what it was either.
Yeah, but it was like constant and it was genuine. It wasn't like a fake thing. It was just like him in bewilderment, like, I can't believe I'm here. And it was just so beautiful, him tearing up. And as you said, you teared up. I have a heart of ice, so but I was really, really happy for the guy, and everything about it was just such a beautiful moment. I mean, if the history-making performances later didn't happen, this would have easily gotten Athletically Profound Run of the Night. And it really speaks a lot that a run like this didn't get that achievement, because this was just amazing.
Yeah, I can't even argue. Like I normally I would say, like, how could you not give it to this one? But yeah, like there's just a lot of options in this episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
Next to take the course, it's like we're hitting high after high here. Next we have Sem Gure, a pro wrestler.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
This guy is.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, this guy is like speaking directly to you. I felt like he was like reaching through the screen. He might as well have said your name.
I was so happy. Everything about this just made me happy. When I was watching this, I'm like, visually profound, like, video of the night, athletically profound run of the night. You get everything and then more. By the end of the night, you can't get either, and I feel bad. But, dude, this was so awesome. The video. Like, this is what I talk about when it's like, if you're going to be extra, go all in. But there's a caveat of don't be making it about something stupid like a cat or cake or something. Make it just so goofy. And I love this. He's a wrestler, right? So he plays it up, but it's not, I can't even describe it. He's got the right level of charisma. But then he makes it like lighthearted, and he can actually make fun of himself, where he has like gets these like manicures and pedicures and stuff, and shows us really cute. I don't know if it's his daughter because he's 19, so he's still a kid, or if it's like his little sister or something. But like all these little cute moments, and then he's drinking like whey protein.
He puts fear in his protein shakes. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I forgot about that. Like all the fun stuff, and just I love it. I love everything about it. And the best part is, Rich, the hosts went all in also. His entire run, just wrestling puns, like playing it up. Oh, he's gonna body slam the course. Oh, he pile drive that, brother. Like all this stuff. I loved it. It was so hilarious. It was so fun. This guy played to the crowd. He knew he was a showman. Just fluid, fun showman. I loved everything about this.
And don't forget, he had a guy on the sidelines that was almost upstaging him. Like, how do we get so much in this one run? And in this one episode, but this dude's run had everything.
Yes. Rich, we need to talk about the sideline guy. Like, please, like, describe him for the listeners.
Oh, I can't do that justice in audio form. I mean, come on. This guy was hyping him up like there was no tomorrow. He's up on somebody else's shoulders, from what I could see, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just, like, shouting at him. He's shouting at the crowd. He's just pumping everyone up. But, he's so expressive, and he's just got this weird genuineness. Like, we've had other people, like, screaming and going nuts on the sidelines through other people's runs. But just not with the charisma that this guy had in drawing everyone in.
He was the greatest person ever alive during this moment. He needs to run next year, and I need to hire him to run on the sidelines for everyone. Just, he's so great. His eyes are bulging out of his head at every little thing that happened. Whenever the wrestler would like flex or do anything, he would flex and be like, "Oh!" And he'd be screaming at the top of his lungs. Like, this guy was amazing. He was the greatest compliment to the extraness of this run. The guy that ran, was it Sensei or
Semsei? S-E-M.
Semsei. Yeah, Semsei. He's a tag team champion. So my guess is that this guy on the sidelines was his tag team partner. I could be completely wrong, but like this dude was invested, and oh my God, it was just so beautiful. Everything about this was so extra in all the right ways. It was beautiful. If you guys want to know what when I say extra in all the right ways, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and he was doing great on the course too, like to make things even better. He was not especially smooth, right? He doesn't have a lot of ninja experience from what we heard, but he's pretty good. Like he ended up falling athletic on the second slam dunk, but man, like very, very solid ninja on top of everything else.
Yeah, I really want to see Sensei and his partner on the sidelines every single year. This is a great shtick.
All right, so we are like cruising through this episode, and like when you feel like it just can't get any better, Michelle Warnky takes the course. Like it's just like mountain peak after mountain peak. I cannot say enough about this episode.
Yes.
So Michelle Warnky's segment, though, like here we are, like about to have this momentous run, and the focus of her thing is very toned down. Like after the just bang, Brandon Mears, this pro wrestler, it's like Michelle Warnky has a high risk of cancer, right? This BRCA2 gene that she has. Doctors recommend she removes her ovaries before 40. She's talking about how it's going to impact her and her boyfriend. Is like they really like dialed it back before her run, which ended up being amazing. But like just the tone, just like they brought it down just enough to make you relax, and then just bang right back at you.
Yeah, the video was really real, a very serious thing that they're talking about. And I appreciate that they highlighted it and they gave it the severity it needed. I I don't want to make it about this. Very slight criticism of the fact that I really didn't need the constant barrage of looking out at the sunset and all of the stereotypical things that we used to hate about old school ninja. They're going a little too far where it was discrediting what they were talking about, because they really just needed to present this real thing going on, when it comes to stuff like this, put a camera in front of Michelle Warnky and just let her talk. And the empathy is going to go right through the screen of just watching her talk. You don't need things like, her looking at the sunset or all that stuff. That said, really serious stuff. And I very much am thankful that Michelle Warnky was able to share to the world something like this. And also let it be known, because I was unaware that this was something where it produced such a high risk of cancer. What'd they say, 85%?
Something like that. I had no idea. It was when they said BRCA2, it sounded like something that we should be aware of. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm glad they kind of explained it a bit.
Yeah. And I hope this leads to a lot of women that maybe if they weren't unaware, maybe I'm just ignorant for being a male. I don't know. But if you didn't know, maybe it'll bring awareness to getting checked for that. But man, going into that, I'm glad they brought that up. And in many ways, it would have been also very easy for them to hype up the fact that she's gotten so close, but she's never hitting the buzzer. This story wasn't about but yet it led into such a powerful run that's historic and will forever, shape, I'm sure, Michelle Warnky's life in terms of how people just are inspired by her.
Well, it was weird because I would have bet pretty good money on the story of her being the smack in the face that she took in qualifiers. I thought they're going to really, especially after listening to her on another podcast talking about, what happened afterwards, getting the stitches and things like that, is they'll just make the story, if they give her any story, they may just, mid-runner or whatever. I thought, well, they're just going to talk about the injury she took, going to, get stitched up and all that kind of stuff. They did mention it multiple times. They did show it multiple times, but they didn't really make the story that. They just went a totally different angle.
They had a better, more profound story.
Yeah. On the course, so we've been talking all this time about just her segment here. She was looking very, very comfortable and smooth. I really noticed from the throughout, right up to the warp wall, I was like, wow, she is really not having any issue with this at all. And then I'm kind of looking at the back after the course, and I'm like, man, she could do that. There's really nothing there that should hold her up. But when she got past the slam dunk with seemingly lots left in the tank, the hype was real. I'm like, she can take Spinball Wizard. There is no way she's not finishing this.
For me, it was always a constant fear of falling because it could happen to anybody. But it was just, for me, constant hope. Please do this. Do this. You've gotten so far so many times. It's one of those times where you're invested. And it's a culmination of a story that's happened for many years, for Michelle Warnky. And every single obstacle that she got through, it was just that more just uplifting and just exciting.
Yeah, the thing with her is she beat the warped wall. She was the second woman to ever beat the warped wall, and I always felt that she got overshadowed on both sides of her, right? Casey really crazily stole the limelight because she went on to beat the final scores. Megan took a lot of the attention because she was a rookie. She really steals the camera. She's very comfortable in front of the camera and everything. So I always felt like Michelle kind of fell in the middle there, almost like middle child syndrome. I love that she got a chance to shine here, right? She's one of the veteran women. She's amazing on the course, does so much for the sport, and for her to be the next one to do it, I think is something I didn't even know I wanted until she did it.
Yeah. So let's talk about when she got off of the, I forget the name of it, that little arm hanging obstacle thingy majigger.
Spinball Wizard.
Spinball Wizard. Terrible name. So once she got off of that, and it sunk in that she's about to go for the spider climb to hit the finals course buzzer. Like, what was that like for you?
I was nervous and I was overthinking it. I was like, either she's going to fall here, because it's midway through the episode. I'm like, are they going to let her go midway? I know they tend to like run those things at the end. I'm glad they didn't if she makes it. And I start really overthinking. I'm thinking ahead like, well, who's left? Then realizing Labreck's coming. So like, oh my God, I'm all over the place. But my notes, just to give you an idea of my thoughts, it's all in caps. It says, OMG, OMG, she beat Spinball Wizard, ! Are you kidding me? Like that's where my mind was at when she was doing it.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the opposite, where I wasn't overthinking it, and I was just kind of like everybody on the sidelines. And this is one of the moments where going, like, panning to the sidelines and connecting with the emotions of everybody there really hit. Watching, oh gosh, help me out, Rich.
Alyssa Beard?
Alyssa Beard, yeah, Alyssa Beard. Like, I see her face in my mind. I'm like, anyways, watching Alyssa Beard, like, in tears and just so ecstatic because she knows, like we know, that Michelle Warnky can do this. Like, probably in her sleep. Like, she's trained so long, and that all of the question mark obstacles are gone. And now it's for her to just, go full on in and tackle this daunting thing that we know she's capable of doing. But with the caveat of it's not going to be an easy climb. Like, when Casey Catanzaro did it, she just shot upwards, and Michelle Warnky could do the same. But now we've got 100 pounds of glass, like doors, like literally blocking her way. And come on, what a perfect metaphor of breaking through the glass ceiling. Yeah. I mean, like, literally.
They loved it. And they overused it a bit, but yeah,
I was about to say, man, they made every chance they could for it. But for the first times that they did it, it really hit hard. Like, it was this emotional, moment where she's climbing and it's with purpose. And then she reaches those walls and she's struggling and figuring out how to get, through that glass ceiling. And then, on to the next one. And then doing it more and more. And just the emotion hitting her, slowly cementing, I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually do this. It wasn't just us, the viewers, but also her, and watching that happen. And when she finally hits that buzzer, I don't know, man. I mean, it was just, that was very surreal. Without doubt, the highlight of the episode for me, even for what's to come, for me, the highlight was this. Athletically profound run of the night, 100%. And for me, this is a run that I will always, always remember.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Alyssa Beard's face. Like, them cutting to her was a perfect way to really draw us in, because, like you said, it's written all over her face. That was the second or third time. I was a weepy mess through this whole thing. I only recovered just in time to record. But yeah, it was a fantastic run. Again, fantastic episode overall. Definitely the highlight for me. As much as I loved, like later on, we get some other fantastic runs. 100% agree. Michelle Warnky's run is the one to get athletic profound.
Well, she'll be tied. So, I wonder who else is going to tie with her.
After that, we did get a little bit of a bummer note here. Mike Bernardo was fast-forwarded, who went out on the Wignuts. Unfortunately, was not able to carry on his success from the qualifiers. and move on to Vegas.
I very much appreciate at least that he was highlighted in the qualifiers with a story that needed to be told. And we'll see him next year, but I'm really glad and appreciate the time that we did see him.
And then we return to Grant McCartney, who was escorted to the beginning of the course by Bootsy Collins.
How awkward was that, bro? Like
a little bit.
Like, I get it, but I've heard the name Bootsy Collins. I have no idea who he is. But it was just awkward. They're like, oh, he's dancing Bootsy Collins. Bootsy's kind of just looking at him, like smiling, and I don't know. It was a little awkward.
I think it played to the crowd, but not so much the home audience. Like, I think the crowd, if he's a local hero in the way they're saying he is, I'm sure the crowd was excited to see him. But that, it didn't really translate well to those of us that are like, I like you said, I know that name, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Yeah,
and I mean, probably he does mean a whole lot to that audience. I honestly have no idea.
The big story, though, is Grant has missed Vegas 2 years in a row, being in 16th place. Like, he just keeps barely not making it. It has been pretty gut-wrenching to watch at the last couple of seasons. And this year he has to make the top 12.
Yeah, like that's what I kind of appreciated this story, simply because they're telling this brutal, like, tragic tale of him, like, making it enough, but always just, like, this, I won't even say second place, but the one that just misses out, right? And then it cements in, like, oh, it's not a top 15 anymore. Bro, you really need to, like, do well now. It's like, oh, man. I mean, for me, it brought the drama where I was always on pins and needles, wishing the best for him.
Yeah, he's looking so stressed on the course. Not smiling, not dancing, just all business. It isn't until he gets to slam dunk before he smiles, basically. Like, he gets past the salmon ladder, he can relax a little bit, let out a little smile, and then end up missing his left hand on the last ball of slam dunk. So putting a big question mark, putting him potentially in trouble of not moving on again is like, there's no way. I was like, if he misses out by one spot, I'm going to lose my mind this year.
Dude, I thought he was going to. I was like, wow. Like, this dude cannot catch a break. That said, this is one of the few times where I'm very happy, where it's like, don't play to the crowd, don't show emotion, just go for it. Be focused. Like,
yep.
We've seen, like, Grant, I love you, bro. So just you don't need to entertain me. I'm rooting for you already. Let's do this.
After we had a fast forward of Dan Palizzi, who beats the course too and beats Brandon's time to get the fastest time. So we could have the Towers of Power on the Power Tower. I was so hyped for that.
But, dude, they skipped him like in a fast forward. I was like, there's no way. I mean, it's one if he beats the entire course, which I am like, that's insane. Like, I already had my Shane Bell out ready for that. But then he got the fastest time, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I have a feeling we're about to get 2 faster runs throughout the night. I mean, could have been wrong, but I was pretty confident we were going to get a lot more finishers. Also, this was around the time where I saw a trend of, people completing this course where I'm like, Jesse Flex Labreck has yet to run, and there needs to be somebody finishing this, and it's damn sure not going to be the cat dude.
All right.
So, I mean, I gotta say, as much as I'll get to it later, but I wish I was more nervous than I actually was for Flex Labreck's run.
Yeah, the placement bummed me a little bit, but we'll get to that. Next on the course, we had Michael Torres, whose dog Hershey goes to the Ninja Gym with him. And I gotta say, as much as we've complained about dog montages and little segments this year and cats, this one was okay. I kind of liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It's not like, don't overdo it, Ninja Warrior, don't do it. But I liked this simply because it was unique and cute. And what I mean by that is this dog was actually doing like some obstacles. It wasn't overly long. And something really cute about watching Michael Torres just train with his dog, like tucked in his shirt and doing, I don't know, stuff like that. It was short, it was fun, and it just moved on. And the thing that really cemented it for me being fine with it is when we got back from the run, he was already halfway through the course. So overall, this entire thing flowed very well.
Yep. Everything that you could want from a little cutesy segment like that, you couldn't ask for more than that.
Yeah.
So he was to the warped wall in under a minute, like just flying through the course. You know what? He has a shot at the fastest time, and he got the first city finals buzzer he's had, and did end up taking the fastest time away from Dan Palizzi.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm like, well, there's gonna be another one.
Yeah,
but
it seemed that way.
Yeah, I was really happy for Michael Torres, simply because I forgot what it was. It might have been like 2 or 3 years ago, but he really came on the scene as like one of the rookies to really keep an eye out for. And then he was kind of like overshadowed for a bit. And I'm like, dude, Michael Torres is like legit. We'd always see him in fast forwards of like doing really, really well. And I'm like, Michael Torres, why are we skipping him? So I appreciate the fact that we got to get a more like an update on him and him to showcase his skills a little bit more for the world, I almost said the world, for America.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten the Coolidge treatment here for a couple of years, so it is good to see a little bit more from him. We had a fast forward, though, of Dustin Rocco, who went out on Slam Dunk, and Labreck's fiance, who finished the course.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, Chris DeGangi did very well this episode. And, of course, got fast-forwarded. Poor guy.
I'm not going to say poor guy. He's engaged to Flex Labreck.
It's true. Very lucky man.
Good on you, bro. I'm happy for you. All things, like, joking aside, you know, he does put in his time and training and all that stuff. And I'm really happy that, you know, he gets to share with his fiancée. I'm pretty sure this is, like, the first time ever, like, a couple like are literally hitting the buzzer on the same course. And could you imagine like how fun of a storyline it would be if they like both complete stage 1 and then like who's gonna outdo the other in stage 2? Like this can be fun.
Yeah, they've had some fun with that along the way. It is funny, they love to talk about these first couple to ever do this, first brother and said like this is definitely the first time we've had a couple complete a city finals course the same episode, isn't it? Or did...
Oh, yeah. I mean, did Brent, who else?
When Casey finished it, did Brent finish that night? No, he didn't. He was out early that season. I don't think
he did.
No, he went out in the qualifiers.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, the year before he did well, but that year I don't think he did as well.
No. So after that we had Jackson Twait, who has a cat and a scooter.
I mean, I'm not going to go over it again. Just, he seems like a nice guy. I get it. He's got a shtick. But man, y'all need to stop with this. It's not. It's too much, and the fact that they went back to it again, just I maybe I'm the grump, but dude, no.
I gotta say we went a little hard on him, and there was some clapback on that. There were some people that think we.
Man, I don't care. Look. When there are times where I will openly invite like feedback and everything. No. Shame on everyone for that segment. That was awful.
All right. So he got a little hung up on the ring swing, really slowing things down. He's not really moving very quickly. Switches up his feet on spinning bridge before making a run at it and takes a spill. Seems like it was not a good idea to switch that up.
Yeah, shocking where he fell, simply because he was so impressive, all things considered, you know, in the qualifiers. That's got to really be rough of like riding the high of going so far in the qualifiers and then not even going to Vegas. That's brutal. Is he the only one that made it to the Power Tower but isn't going to Vegas? Or is there another person that might have done that also? You know?
I don't know. No, I have no idea. It's a good point, though.
I think he might be, and that's the worst, man.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can. I'm not going back through, but if anybody knows, I would be interested to know. He might be the only one.
Yeah. Rich loves it when I put him on the spot like this.
Yeah.
It's the best
great.
thing in the world, right?
It's either stop recording and go look it up, or just admit that I don't know. I really don't know offhand. But then we had Ethan Swanson take the course mid-run with a speed pass, and it's like,
that's fine.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But like, why not show him last? I don't understand why they do this. Just make the speed run the last one, and then there's no question.
In this case, I will give it to him. I mean, come on.
But it's telegraphed.
you need to show. At this point, we all know she's getting up there. Like, just give her time. Give her her big spot. It's fine.
But to me, if she ran last before the speed pass run, it's still a question mark. I guess it kind of was for me anyway.
For you,
I thought,
for me, it was never a question.
It kind of was, because I thought, wow, it'd be kind of mean to do it in that way, but having her run last and telegraphing it that she's going to make it, and then having her take an unexpected fall on the salmon ladder or something would be jarring for sure.
Yeah. Like, I 100% understand your criticism, and I fully agree, but I am perfectly fine with it. Sometimes, even if it's obvious, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. But yeah, he's flying. Ethan's flying through as you'd expect he would. He's like in the 2-minute 30-ish range. He's at the 2-minute 30 range, hitting the 9th obstacle. Seems clear he's getting the fastest time. And it looked like he was going to be running with Michael Torres, which he does in the end, his training partner in the finals. I actually had a little bit of a question mark. I'm like, all right, Jessie is probably going to take it down, but how fast is she going to go? And I thought, it's a little bit much to ask that she's going to make the power tower in this episode.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It could have happened, and for me, that was the real story leading into Jessie Labreck's run was, can she make a fast enough time?
Yeah, once I saw her on the course, though, it seemed clear that she was just looking to complete. Like, she wasn't making an all-out sprint to get through, which definitely made a lot of sense. I could see why she would take her time and do it properly. So,
I mean, low-key, isn't that kind of what you want? Like, for me, take your time. You're already going to be making history. I don't need you going on an all-out sprint and making me completely terrified throughout the run.
Yeah, but now that she has it under her belt, I expect her to go for it next year because I know she's capable of doing it.
Yeah, 100%. But let's just, why don't you start from the beginning with her?
Well, before I get into her run, we should mention that they cut to Grant McCartney sitting on the sidelines with 3 runners left.
Yeah.
Grant was in 11th place. And I'm like, don't do this. Don't you dare do this. Like, I thought for sure that he was going to be on the bubble for Jessie's run. And I was like, don't kill my love of Jessie's run with Grant sitting puppy dog-eyed on the sidelines. Like, come on.
Didn't they do that last year? And I was like, why do this? Because now we're actively rooting against the person.
We've seen it with...
Pretty sure they did.
They did it, I think, earlier this season. You mentioned it with... They've done it to Grant 2 years in a row, but there was a woman's run earlier this season. You're like, why show us this poor person sitting on... I think it was Megan Martin. Oh, it was Megan Martin. That's what it was. When she was on the bubble, yeah. And you're rooting against the poor rookie on the course.
Yeah, so I'm glad they didn't do that this time.
Yes. How much joy would that have sucked out of watching Jessie Labreck run to know that she was bumping Grant McCartney out?
Oh, it would have been brutal, man. Like not even for us. Can you imagine all the children around America?
Well, that's the thing too. She did bump somebody, whoever it was. I feel bad for them. But Grant, having been in that position 2 years in a row, to have it happen a third time would have been a lot.
Yeah. Very glad they didn't do that to poor Jessie.
Yes. So big hype for a second buzzer for women tonight. Seemed to be pretty telegraphed that she was going to do it. I was a little nervous. Like I said, expecting maybe an early fall, a shocking fall, but we didn't get that. She took a few extra swings on the ring swing, got up the salmon ladder faster than Jeri, so we knew she was safe and going to Vegas at that point. And then she just crushed the end of the course, as she's perfectly capable of doing every time she takes it. Was very, very excited for her.
Yeah, I don't really have as much of a breakdown for her run as I did Michelle Warnky, just because, I mean, for me, I was so invested, but I also knew what was happening. But for me, in situations like this, I just want to like be there for the ride, you know? Like Alyssa Beard probably halfway through was already in tears, being like, "I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen," you know? So I was just on the ride with her, and I was just so excited for her. Her fiance, you could see Jesse's fiance was like losing his mind, and it was just such a beautiful moment. I forget if it was her run or Michelle Warnky's run, but they really need to lay off of the inspirational, cheesy music that really takes away from the power and the moment. I understand sometimes you really want to do that for the inspirational feels, but just overdid it way too much.
I think it was Warnky's run.
It brings me vibes.
Yeah, pretty sure it was Warnky's run you're thinking of.
Yeah, it was just too much. It brought me back to like watching Biggest Loser, being like, you don't need all this. But that said, it was beautiful, and just once again, just so happy for Jessie Flex Labreck. She also gets the Athletically Profound Run of the Night. For her accolades, Michelle Warnky's accolades, just raising the bar once again for the women of the sport, and for everybody. It was awesome.
You know what's funny is I was looking and realized that I knew Jessie could do it when DeGangi did it. It wasn't even that I was looking at Michelle Warnky. It was when Chris DeGangi was able to do it. I was like, oh, well, she can totally do this then. Poor guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, though. You're not lying.
So that was it for the runs that took us to the Power Tower with Michael Torres versus his boss Ethan Swanson.
I mean, just looking back, could you imagine what it would have been like if the Towers of Power were to do the Power Tower? Like,
it'd be a little confusing.
That would be amazing.
It would be. It would be tough. I mean, that is a lot of upper body. Those guys are super
that's
strong,
tough, yeah.
But they're also very big guys.
Yeah, it would be something. That said, I'm happy with the two people that were actually running this because they are very fast and fluid.
Yes, and very evenly matched. Like, they made a point of their segment here just before the Power Tower, how evenly matched. Did a really good job of, like, showing it, right? Show, don't tell kind of thing. Just little stupid segments where they're racing and neck and hitting a buzzer, you know, at the same time. It's basically what we got on the course, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a blur for me watching this run because I was still getting over the whole Jessie Labreck thing. So, yeah, I was really happy. I believe Michael Torres, like, eked it out at the last moment, right?
He did. I will admit I've been a huge fan of Ethan Swanson for a couple of years, so I was a little disappointed. No disrespect to Michael Torres. I think it's fantastic. He earned it, and we'll see how he does with it. But I was kind of looking forward to Ethan getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I really like Swan, other than his stupid swan dance, but people love it. But dude is awesome. His videos give me extreme anxiety watching him jump from rooftops and stuff, but he's just so damn impressive and good. And, oh, man, I'm very curious to see, because Ethan, from what I remember, he basically had it, but he hesitated and did one extra swing. And that's what opened the door for Michael Torres to get it. I'm very curious if that's going to bite him in the butt going into the Vegas finals.
I mean, they said that, and it kind of looks that way, but I don't think he had enough momentum. I don't think he could have made it with the swing. It was something about the way that it swung back. It looked like he didn't have enough to get off. It wasn't that, you know, the guy's got no fear. He would have went if he could, but he just didn't have enough to get off.
Gotcha. So it was more of just, you know, momentum just wasn't on his side, and
that's what it looked like to me, anyway.
Okay.
So that was it for the episode. Crazy episode, full of great highlights. Could have afforded to like share 2 or 3 of those with last week's to help boost it up, but we'll.
For real though,
we just went from peak to peak in this one, and it was fantastic.
Imagine if you like the 2 powers of towers, like they're probably like, please just put us on last week's episode. It would have totally been the highlights of that.
Yeah. Or poor Chris DeGangi, who gets fast forwarded. Like
he's gonna be overshadowed no matter what.
I mean, I'm
Poor
just
guy,
looking here.
but he is.
So look at the 7 completions we have. Ethan Swanson gets a segment. Michael Torres. Dan Palizzi got fast forwarded, to be fair, I guess. So yeah, I guess he's not alone.
Dan Palizzi got the fastest run of the night to that point.
True.
That poor guy.
But he gets to share the spotlight with Brandon anyway, so I don't think they begrudge each other or anything. Yeah, I mean, arguably DeGangi gets it with Rex. I mean, it kind of works out.
Yeah, and the most important thing is we got no any bro crap.
Yes.
Which I'm like, the less bros, the more their stock rises, in my opinion.
So yeah, that was it. There was no real skipped runs that stood out to me. Nobody that got completely skipped that I would have liked to have seen. Next week we start into Vegas finals, man. We're there.
Yeah, dude, I'm psyched. This 4 freaking episodes, like this is gonna be lit, bro. It's gonna be popping, and I'm just excited to see what they have in store for us. The new obstacles in stages 1 and 2, particularly stage 1. That's when they do at least 2 new things. You know, I'm excited for it, man. You know that Double Dipper's coming back, and that man, it plays such a ninja killer every year, but in the right ways. I'm excited for that. Like stage 2, you just know those wing nuts are coming back. I know you really want them to get nerfed or 1 less or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it staying the same because the ninjas have had enough time to practice. But either way, 4 episodes for me is a good sign that we're going to get a good number of people completing stage 2, and that is very exciting.
I kind of want to see of the obstacles we've seen. I'd really like to see Slingshot make it into stage 2, the one we just had, the bouncing the bar between. I think after the salmon ladder, something like that, to transition into the back half. I mean, we're going to see some elements of what we've seen in these city finals courses in the finals. As long as it's not Angry Birds, I'll be pretty happy.
Oh God, could you imagine, bro? No way would they ever. They had time. They're looking at Angry Birds we're not. They might bring it back, but they're going to nerf it. They're going to have to. I'm really impressed with the obstacles that we've seen this season, the newer ones. But man, remember last year they had some new creative stuff on the course, Deja Vu, in my opinion, was awesome, and there was some other really cool stuff. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, we'll just see, man. Any particular runs you're looking forward to in stage 1?
I want to see how Barclay Stockett does this year.
Dude, that was my number 1. Damn, you stole my thunder. Well, give your thoughts.
I want her to complete it so bad. I mean, with her height, I know they bring it up all the time, but it is such a big factor. She's just got to go full out to get through. She did such a great job of getting as far as she did last year. She's just got to move a little quicker, and I think she can totally do it. I want to see it happen.
Yeah, no disrespect to all the male competitors, but the women really have my attention this year. Barclay Stockett at the top of my list. I am rooting for her all the way because it's a culmination of multiple years of her getting so dang close. And I just really want this to be her year of completing stage 1. Obviously, both Jessies really invested in their success. Alyssa Beard, all the top female ninjas, but also there's a few newcomers that have really excited me. But really, it's the women that really have my attention this year.
Besides that, I mean, I want to see some stage 3 runs. I want to see these safety passes get used. I want to see Daniel Gill, Drew Dreschel, Joe Moravsky all hitting stage 3. I just need to see this.
Yeah. And for me, now I think about it, I want to see somebody new that's off of everybody's radar hitting stage 3. One thing that I always enjoyed about Sasuke was there'd be 1 or 2 ninjas that nobody's ever heard of making it to stage 3. And then the next 2 years or so, they're on everybody's radar. And I really hope somebody can really up their profile by making a huge, dent or whatever in the rankings when it comes to stage 3. I just want to see somebody completely off of everybody's radar, just really being like, yo, I'm here, take me seriously.
Can we have it be the Burkinator? Because that would be amazing.
Well, you never know. Could be.
So before we wrap up this episode, Bijan, do we have any 5-star reviews?
Yes, we do. Man, it is the week of the female ninjas, and now we got the female ninja fan, I guess. Lena Dorer writes, favorite podcast. This is my favorite podcast. I listen to it every weekend. Love your theme song. Is awesome. Amazing name, Armchair Ninjas. Dude, thank you so much, Lena. You are awesome. You are my favorite podcast listener this week. You are my favorite theme song, I guess. Why not? And my favorite Armchair Ninja. Let's all make it ridiculous and weird. Lena, you're the best. And Lena Dorer, you get the 5-star review of the week. Much appreciated.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Lena. If you'd like to get your own shout out on the show, please make sure you stop by Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review, and we will give you that shout out at the end of one of our episodes. Before we sign off, just a reminder, after the outro, I will be talking a little bit about the spoilers that were posted. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Well, first off, do not hit me up at all about the spoilers because I don't know them and I don't want to. That's it. Right. Hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.
All right. For those of you that have stuck around, Bijan has dropped off the call, and I'll give you my thoughts here. So, again, this is spoiler territory. This is something that officially came out from Ninja Warrior. Matt and Akbar talked about it. It's on ANW Nation, so it's a little hard to avoid this. But for those that do want to avoid spoilers, stop now. Stop the recording. Go to next week's episode. We're not going to discuss the spoiler on the main parts of our episode. I just wanted to give some thoughts on it here. So, 3, 2, 1. All right, so apparently we have a winner, at least one winner this year of the $1 million prize. Why would you tell us that? I have no idea what they could possibly be thinking in letting us know this huge spoiler. Like, this is the biggest spoiler. There is nothing bigger than this. Knowing that there is a winner completely changes how we look at the finals. I mean, we speculated it. We kind of figured with 4 episodes and we had safety passes, we're all kind of anxious that maybe we would get a winner this year. We kind of liked sitting in that anticipation. We like speculating on what may or may not happen. So now we have to shift to who did it? Who managed to take it home? The smart money is on Drew. Drew Dreschel taking it down, but maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it's somebody we're not expecting. Yeah, don't hit Bijan up with this. Don't tweet it out. I'd love to help, stop the spread of this if we can help it. Like, I'm not tweeting any kind of speculation on this. I'll handle it in my own inbox. So don't even post it in YouTube comments. If you want to DM me on Instagram or, direct message me on Twitter, email me, whatever, we can talk about it that way. I do think it's Drew. I think that would make the most sense. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we get 2 winners, but yeah, I'm going to go with Drew. It's the smart money at this point. So yeah, if you have legit spoilers, like if you know who won, for God's sakes, don't tell me. But if you're just in the same boat as I am and got this massive spoiler dropped, I'm interested if you think we're going to get surprised. Is there somebody that you think will come out of the woodwork? Like Michael Torres, like a lot of these ninjas are perfectly capable of doing it. They just need the opportunity, need to string together one great night. So, yeah. I couldn't believe when I read it. I really couldn't. Like, how ANW producers and, whoever is listening to this that may have some kind of input into this, like, why would you tell us? Like, I get you want to drum up interest in the finals, but I think that was there anyway. I think ratings are pretty good, aren't they? Like, Like, why ruin that? It's so weird. It's part of the sport. Like other contests, like Survivor and Big Brother and other things, there's always a winner. So that's not everybody knows that somebody's going to win. The question of whether someone wins or not is the biggest thing about A&W. We've only had it one time, and we're on season 11. Like, why would you suck the life out of that with a month to go? It's just so weird. Anyway, it's not completely ruining for me. I don't know why. I should be more upset, but I kind of figured it was going to come anyway. So, yeah, just interested to see who it is at this point. So, yeah, send me your speculation. Rich@ninjapodcast.com, @ninjapodcast, Instagram and Twitter. Once again, hope you have a fantastic week. Peace and love, y'all.